Hi guys, my name is Chris and you're watching Wrestling Today, so let's start with Money in the Bank match results. The women's Money in the Bank contract now belongs to one of the most dangerous superstars in WWE, Naomi. The caution tape-clad competitor was the first to use a ladder as a weapon when she spiked Rhea Ripley onto it, but Alexa Bliss countered and hit a rolling senton on Naomi and Roxanne Perez. Ripley returned to the fray with authority as she nailed Julia with a dropkick, hit Perez with a Shining Wizard, and smashed Naomi face first onto a strategically placed ladder. Perez clapped back with a remarkable Hurricanrana counter and a springboard Lionsault on the Eradicator, leading to her and the Beautiful Madness battering a helpless Ripley, who became buried under a mountain of ladders at ringside. The superstars took turns attempting to scale the ladder as Naomi, Perez, Julia, and Bliss all found themselves on the steel rungs, leading to the Twisted Superstar launching everyone off and sending them crashing to the canvas. Out of nowhere, Ripley rose from the carnage and cleaned house, but she became trapped in Vaccar's clutches and fell victim to a devil's kiss on top of a ladder. Dueling pop rocks and code red from Perez and Bliss followed by a stereo Sister Abigail and Riptide again cleared the field, but Ripley and Bliss were tossed off the ladder by Naomi. With nobody around, Naomi scaled the ladder and unhooked the briefcase to win the match and become Ms. Money in the Bank. With Liv Morgan at ringside, Dominic Mysterio retained the Intercontinental Championship against AAA Octagon Jr. in impressive fashion. Dirty Dom took it to Octagon Jr. early, but the champion's mockery of other AAA wrestlers in the crowd fired up the challenger as he used his high-flying skills to drop Mysterio. A clearly infuriated champion fired back, and despite his first attempt being countered, Mysterio hit a 619 and a frog splash to quell the threat and retain his title. Monday Night Raw has a new Women's Intercontinental Champion, and it is none other than the men Becky Lynch. Valkyria decked Lynch before the bell, which kicked off the brutal grudge match. The two Irish superstars had each other perfectly scouted, resulting in an early stalemate, but the veteran Lynch spiked Valkyria with a DDT to change the outlook of the match. Valkyria refused to relent as she hit a ring-shaking superplex and rolled into a fisherman, but it wasn't enough to retain her title. The champion continued to batter her rival, even hitting a leg drop onto a lifeless Lynch, who was draped over the barricade. However, the challenger countered another leg drop with a massive powerbomb. With the two superstars perched on the top rope, Lynch executed a Superman handle slam, but the resilient Valkyria narrowly kicked out. Somehow, Valkyria mustered enough strength to hit Nightwing on the outside, and it led to a slugfest inside the ring between the two exhausted superstars. Valkyria and Lynch traded pinning combinations, but Lynch grabbed the champion's tights and stole the win and the title. Per the pre-match stipulation, Valkyria had to raise Lynch's arm, but the new champion forced her to do so for an extended period before instructing her to fasten the championship around her waist. After being extensively berated by her former mentor, Valkyria dropped Lynch with a thunderous Nightwing. Monday Night Raw is in trouble after Seth Rollins won the Money in the Bank ladder match to secure a future championship opportunity. The Field started the match by attacking the Visionary before turning their attention to each other, with Andrade and Penta hitting incredible splashes to the outside. El Grande Americano felt the wrath of Penta before being tossed into a ladder by Solo Sikoa, only for LA Knight to add to the chaos by wrecking Solo with a huge jumping elbow onto a ladder. Several superstars scaled the ladders looking to win the match, but Andrade nailed a sunset flip bomb on Americano, and Penta suplexed Rollins through a ladder. Penta wrecked Andrade with a Mexican destroyer on a ladder and nearly won the match, but Americano stopped him and tossed his opponents around the ring. Americano pulled out the fireball ladder, and after getting knocked off, he found his way back by using the leverage of other ladders and knocking out Penta with his metal-plated mask. Chaos ruled at the top of multiple ladders, and that's when all hell broke loose as Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed hit the scene and destroyed everyone, only to be met by United States champion Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo. The four superstars battled until only Fatu and Sikoa were left standing, but the Samoan werewolf snapped on his former friend, told him he hates him, and hit him with a crushing moonsault and a runnage through a ladder. Rollins scaled the fireball ladder but was met by Knight, who nearly connected with BFT. Rollins countered and landed a stomp before climbing to the top and unhooking the briefcase to become Mr. Money in the Bank for the second time in his career. Cody Rhodes and World Heavyweight Champion Jay conquered undisputed WWE Champion John Cena and Logan Paul, but that was only a fraction of what occurred in Los Angeles. The Unseen 17 seemed to want nothing to do with the match, sprinting out of the ring and tagging in Paul to leave him to feel the wrath of the American Nightmare. Jay yeeted his way into the ring but soon fell victim to some underhanded tactics as Cena made his way into the match. The undisputed WWE Champion pounded Jay, and the World Heavyweight Champion did his best to battle back. However, Paul backed up Cena and kept Jay down on the mat. Cena and Paul began to disagree about how to handle Jay, and that mistake opened the door for Rhodes to tag in and take out his enemies in one fell swoop. Just as Rhodes was cruising, Cena caught him with an AA and followed that up with one to Jay, but he soon ate across Rhodes as payback. A massive miscommunication saw the Maverick hit Cena with a 450 splash, and Jay nailed Paul with a spear directly after. The action settled as Rhodes sparred with Paul, but his attempt at a bionic elbow backfired when Paul hit a pulverizer before being leveled with a superplex and splash. Cena stormed back with a pair of AAs, but it wasn't enough as Rhodes kicked out. A soulless Cena attempted to hit Rhodes with an AA through the announce table, but he was countered by a rib-cracking spear from Jay onto the reinforced announce table. Paul followed with an Ase moonsault onto Jay through the table. With the referee checking on the superstars, Cena nailed Rhodes with the WWE title, but a masked assailant suddenly darted into the ring, tackled Cena, and began raining right hands. The WWE Universe became unglued when the individual unmasked to reveal himself to be R-Truth before blasting Cena with the championship. Moments later, Rhodes executed a match-ending crossroads on Cena for the win. Thanks guys for watching and please subscribe.